Hi, this is Paul Easton, and I'm here with Mike Morgan. We're both from Whippet Digital, and we sort of get together for these chats to talk over what's going up. We're in two different locations, but we catch up. How's things at your end, Mike?
That's pretty good here today, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're both lucky. We're both on the edge of beaches. So if you're in a cold part of somewhere else in New Zealand or somewhere else, sorry, we've got the sun. Can't do much about that. But what we're going to chat about today a little bit is what's going on with one of the famous sayings that everything's got seems to have AI attached to it, and what we're noticing particularly is AI is it's creating problems because Google has been updating their index very recently over the last month, particularly at a huge update, and in some cases, and Mike, I know we talked about this earlier, Mike, that AI is being used to reassess things, and sites that have used extensive AI are getting caught, and they're basically getting seen as using AI for a reason outside of Google's point of view. Um, and Mike, we talked about that earlier about the excessive use of AI in content.
yeah, absolutely. A lot of the sites that have been hit, uh, particularly post the helpful content update from last year, I think it was around November that rolled out, are sites where people saw an opportunity to use AI to generate a huge number of pages very quickly. And this, it was working for a while and then it wasn't. That's the thing.
Mm.
Google realized that these sites were starting to dominate search results and lower the general quality. So they decided they were going to take action against it, and that was built into the AI they were using to judge the sites. So, and then they got a whole team of people together to go through and manually assess and place manual actions on sites as well. So all those all those SEO guys that were bragging about what they were doing on social media, they paid the price from going public with their new hack that they found. Um,
They
but
had they had their 5 minutes of fame, and then Google's just decided to slam them if you try and break the rules. But also, like we talked about earlier, some sites have been penalised. Have been, I suppose, their best way to put it is caught in the crossfire. They may have used AI to create their content, and then all of a sudden they're not ranking like they were before because they've been caught in the crossfire of the changes.
yeah,
So
it's happening a lot. There are a lot of people out there and with some pretty intense pain. I've had a business model, particularly small publishing sites, and small publishing sites in a US context are actually pretty huge sites, really. But they were generating a huge amount of income from having ads on their sites and by publishing user-generated content. So people would submit content, get it published on these large sites, and they fell foul of the new updates as well, and a lot of them have gone lost 97% or plus of their organic traffic, which means that if you're selling ads on your site, suddenly you no longer have a viable business. So there are a lot of real world examples of sites that did everything that they were supposed to do, and they got caught up, as Paul says, in the crossfire, so they're collateral damage. I think we're bringing this back now to smaller businesses and people with blogs and sending out newsletters and so on. It's proved to be really helpful for creating content for your own website, particularly smaller business websites. There and we just want to analyze that a little bit. You're unlikely to get caught up in one of the big updates because you're not really who Google is concerned about. But let's talk about the reason for your content and uh, both the purpose and who you're talking to, because they're really important with your content. A lot of AI generated content is very, very generic. You'll notice the same sort of wording is used, and there are signs that content is definitely AI generated. It can be repetitive. It does need a lot of human editing. Otherwise, you're not actually talking to your customers in a really genuine, authentic way. And I think that's something to always keep in mind with content. for your own website is you need always to be authentic, and you always need to think about how can I help my customer, because that's the
Mm.
whole purpose of your content, not how can I create lots of new blog posts with it with little effort. That's just
Yeah.
completely pointless.
I see some people have missed the point, and I still believe there's a great need for a good writer who understands your business, who can bring through that authentic side and allow you to, as a business owner, you're the one who has the brains. You're the one that knows those special edges of certain things, and that's where you contribute into your writer who's writing it and fill those parts. That's what helpful content is. And I think, when like we talked about this, if you play by those rules, you're playing the long game because the chances of you ever having any problem are really slim. But there's, people, all the software that we're seeing at the moment, and just about every software's got AI on the end of it somewhere. They're trying to cut corners, and it's a short game. And when you play the short game, it's just a matter of time before things. But between Mike and I, we've probably got about 40 years in this industry, and we've seen all this stuff before. It's just come around in a circle, and you play the short game, and you win in the long run because it just does. Eventually, it'll come around, and you'll get caught. And coming back from those type of things, it's like Mike said, it's painful. You've got to start again from scratch. Sometimes if you go too far, you've got to start with a new domain, and it's just really hard work.
Yeah,
I've been in this industry so long, and I've done all that hard work. Look, and I've come to the realization that doing it the right way is just better. Um, I could sleep at night knowing that majority of, or 99.5% of everything we ever do is safe.
yeah.
Safe for our clients, safe for anybody I advise to do it. So I think that's the big picture, Mike.
Yeah. I think you got to walk a mile in your customer's shoes. That's the whole deal. You've got to think about what they want, how you can serve their needs, and how you can build relationships. And I think a classic example of a bad choice is on LinkedIn, where if you're writing a post for LinkedIn, uh, there's a you're offered the opportunity to let AI write it for you. That's a huge mistake. People are smart enough to know whether that post is coming, from your voice. And the same with, comments on posts. People are using AI to comment on posts, and it's really so obvious, and it means that you can't be bothered to take the time to actually share your own thoughts.
Yeah,
And, it does no one any favors, particularly the person who's doing it. So, use AI, as a great tool, and it really is a great tool. So if you use it to maybe research to start off with, to check maybe to check your grammar, or to make sure that paragraphs are structured correctly, or that you've covered every part of the topic that you want to cover. There are various ways you can use AI to make sure that your writing is good. So use it for those purposes, and then hard edit it. And if you're not a writer, contact someone like the people in our team who can look after that for you. They can do that hard editing, give it a authentic voice, and really focus on engaging with the reader or your potential customer, and then developing that relationship. And that's so important.
yeah, it really is. And I think that's the key. I actually stumbled across the site where one of the clients were looking, prospective clients, should I say, were looking in recently, and I grabbed a sentence off the site, and then I realized that whoever built the site used some content from somewhere else. Like, oh, they copied it straight out of multiple sites and put it all together. Google's not dumb. They're going to put two and two together. And just doing that is that short gain, you know, that short gain is just not worth it. Yeah, I can see problems. I guess sometimes I sit there and I look at some clients when they come to us and go and look how they've cut shortcuts and how it's going to create problems in the
Yeah.
long run. Anyway, we better wrap this up, Mike. We're getting in a bit more time than we sort of planned.
Okay.
So look. Mike and I do this on a regular basis. It's just us, sitting here working through and talking about what's going on. It's what we see in our industry. If you want to find out more about us, about Whippet Digital, check us out at whippetdigital.com. And we do this on a regular basis just to serve our market. So I hope you have found some value from this. Bye for now.
Thanks very much.